Welcome back to another episode of 90.6 FM Sport. I'm your host Gabriel, and today we've got a whole bunch of things to cover about sport this weekend. Don't forget to watch until the end of the video to see the blooper of the week, and make sure to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification so you know exactly when the next video will be up. Round 4 of Super Rugby only saw 6 games take place, but some surprising results came from them. Nobody, and I mean nobody, thought the Brumbies would beat the Chiefs, and that's exactly what they did, making sure the Stormers remained the only unbeaten team left after beating the Jaguars. As expected, both the Crusaders and the Sharks won their games against Rebels and Highlanders respectively, but not so expected was the final score of Reds versus Sunwolves, as the Revs completely overwhelmed their opponents, beating them 64-5. And finally, the Bulls were left heartbroken and winless in 3 after the Blues scored in an 81st penalty to see them just edge the South African side. So much football, so many headlines, it's impossible to go through it all, but let's try and see how far we go. VUT did well to make it into the last 16 of the Nedbank Cup, but Mamelodi Sundowns proved too strong, beating them 2-0. At 1-0, the team from the Vol had a penalty given to them and a chance to get back into the game, but a miss sealed their fate against the Sundowns. In the Premier League, Chelsea beat Spurs 2-1 in a dominating display. Manchester City edged Leicester 1-0 even after a penalty missed by Aguero. Liverpool came from behind against West Ham to equal Man City's top-flight record of 18 consecutive wins, and Manchester United comfortably won against Watford to bring them up into 5th position and into the UEFA Champions League spot for next season. Now, perhaps the most important bit of news from football this weekend features the greatest player on the planet, and in my personal opinion, the greatest player of all time, Lionel Messi. The Argentine scored 4 goals over the weekend, with his hat-trick happening in the first half against Eibar, and he now has over 1,000 goal contributions in his career. In 853 matches, he scored 696 and assisted 306 goals. It's just madness thinking about it, but we can't talk about Messi without including Ronaldo. He played his 1000th competitive football game and equaled a Serie A record by scoring in his 11th game in a row. At 35 years old, it's just unreal at this point. And nothing should surprise me when it comes to these two, but something always does. Now, tonight sees 2 of 4 UCL games take place, with Chelsea hosting Bayern and Napoli taking on Barcelona. Then Wednesday's matches will have Lyon play against Ronaldo's Juventus and the clash of the tie Real Madrid versus Manchester City. Finally, we have to discuss the fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, as Wilder was knocked out in the 7th round for his first loss in professional boxing after 44 fights. Tyson Fury becomes the new WBC champion and remains undefeated. He completely outboxed Wilder and showed that his technical ability was more than a match for the American's power. Fury ruptured Wilder's eardrum in the early rounds of the fight, and the former champion just could not recover. Only time will tell if a rematch will take place or if an undisputed bout will take place between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Before we finish up, check out our sports blooper of the week, courtesy of last year's Rugby World Cup. It may not be Throwback Thursday just yet, but if you're watching this video on a Thursday, it works. That's all from me on today's episode of 90.6 FM Sport. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and follow all of 90.6 FM social media channels in order to be updated on the latest in sports. I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.